Welcome to Family Lifestyles. We're so glad that you could join us today, and we hope that you are healthy and getting wealthier with things going better. But just in case you're in the news and you're hearing about all of the concerns about swine flu and emergencies that happen in the spring, we have got the program for you. We're going to be talking with Jennifer Fugate today with the Allen County Health Department, and she's going to be bringing us the facts, not the myths and not all of the fantasies that are wandering around, but things that you need to know about swine flu as well as how to be safe during this spring season. So, Jennifer, we're always delighted to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are an active girl that you are keeping us safe in Allen County, that's for sure.
Well, I'm trying to.
You definitely are. Definitely are, and you're doing
We
a
have a
great
lot
job.
of information coming out in the last week or so about swine flu, and I know that everyone is concerned about
Sure, every day
about
we
the
hear it.
flu, and I want to start the program with putting things in perspective.
Okay.
You know, the most important thing I can tell people right now is to do not panic. This is a flu, just like any other flu that you may have. This one is, there's a lot of unknowns right now about this particular, what we're calling swine flu or H1N1 flu. This virus originated in pigs, is what the epidemiology is saying right now. What we want everybody to remember is just a little bit of perspective. Every year in the United States, influenza of all types kill 36,000 people. We have had one person confirmed in the United States to die from this particular flu.
That's very, 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 very small results. Of course, one death is significant to
Exactly.
anyone, but
There's no death that's a good death from influenza. But what we want people to do is to be vigilant and to use some products that we have here. We brought some props today.
Yes,
the most important thing that you can do is wash your hands.
And that's such a simple tool that we forget, Jennifer.
Simple tool, very simple. And you know, people don't exactly know how to wash their hands sometimes. Wash your hands. What we sometimes do is go in and splash a little water over our hands. Just a lick and a promise, so to speak, and then we're out the door, and we're not effective in our hand washing. What we want to do is use soap and warm running water and say the alphabet while we're washing our hands.
That's a good thing.
Or sing happy birthday.
Or Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Exactly.
Any kind of rhyme like that.
Something to where you're washing your hands for at least a minute.
There you go.
That will cause germs to wash down the sink.
Right.
Okay.
So more than a lick and a promise.
More than a lick and a promise. Exactly.
Absolutely. Especially, I would say, when you're around a lot of people.
Exactly. When you're around a lot of people, when you're taking care of children, when you're in a healthcare situation, especially. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
Now, I noticed that you brought some products that we probably need to look around and say, do we have these, around that we can use if we're not at a sink?
Yeah, and I'm not endorsing any particular product. I just, before I came up here today, I reached around my office to see what we had available. We have some commercial hand sanitizers there. Let
me pick a few of these up and kind of show people here too. Now, this is, again, a hand sanitizer that one can use. And then I noticed that you've got some
and they're different brands and, whatever, pick your
Smell
poison.
good hand sanitizer.
Right, what you want to look at is you want to look at the back of it.
Okay.
And on the back of this one, it says effective at eliminating over 99.9% of many harmful germs in bacteria in as little as 15 seconds.
That means it's effective.
It is effective.
And not just pretty.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then, of course, these I can keep, I suppose, in my purse.
Right.
This is
keep them in your purse.
Like that.
Keep them in your office. Keep them in your car. Keep them in your kitchen. Of course, you've got your antibacterial soap in your kitchen, but you want to make sure that you have something like that available to you. That you can quickly sanitize your hands. We also have these Clorox disinfecting wipes, and I looked at these before I left the office, and this one says quick and easy, kills 99.9% of bacteria.
That's the effectiveness.
Kills the flu virus, and then. We just want to make sure that it says that on it.
Right.
Okay?
So just read your label. Many brands have the same information.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Read your label.
Again, not an endorsement of brands.
Sure.
This is just what I had available in my
Absolutely.
office before coming up here today.
New parents used to keep these religiously, and as we grow older and are not around babies as much,
right, and
we forget about these.
We become complacent.
Sure.
To we don't have. We have a few years where we don't get sick, and we get kind of lax in our our personal care and our vigilance against germs.
Absolutely.
So we forget about these things.
So keep something in your car, keep them somewhere, in your office, etc. I'm going to go get these. It used to be that these rolled around in the car all the time because you had a couple, just in case, and you used them for spills and emergencies. But we get vigilant. So we're going to get these, and we're going to keep those on hand.
And not only
Just
do
a
we
really
want
good thing.
Not only do we want to keep our hands clean, we also want to keep the things clean that touch our hands and are close to our mouth.
Such as?
Telephones.
Telephone, that's a good one.
Doorknobs.
Right, our cell phones.
Our cell phones.
Doorknobs, steering wheels.
Especially items that multiple people use, like an office phone.
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. We want to make sure that we clean those objects. Clean your doorknobs. If you have an office that has a waiting area with toys, clean those toys on a very regular basis.
Boy, that's a good question because children, as we discussed earlier, they're just little germ carriers.
Right. They're very efficient little germ factories.
They are.
They just
They are.
They're really good at sneezing and snotting on each other, and whatever
Yes.
one has, they all have. So make sure that you're teaching your children to cover their sneezes and their coughs. And when we talk about covering our sneezes and our coughs, we're not talking about doing this, even though that looks prettier. It's like this.
Yes,
Right.
reaching into your
Do it
arm.
into your sleeve.
That's excellent.
Because if you cough on your hands, all you're doing is
You're
spreading it even more.
Absolutely. So, any other myths that's going around about the swine flu in particular?
There are all kinds of them. There's so many. I wouldn't be able to repeat all of them, but the most important thing I can tell people to do is make sure that you use a reliable source of information. The Allen County Health Department website pulls information from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta and the Kentucky Department for Public Health. Those are the sources that we use. So if you get information from allencountyhealth.org, those are reliable sources of information.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going back today and make sure your link is on our link with the Extension Service because we do too, and we'll make sure that we link to that. But Jennifer is absolutely right. The health departments are an excellent source of the latest information.
We're maintaining vigilance through this ordeal, through the swine flu epidemic, they're calling it. We are having conference calls daily and video conferences daily with the Kentucky Department for Public Health, and they're in contact with the Centers for Disease Control. So we're right there on the front lines of everything that's going on. If you have any questions at all, you can give us a call at the health department, any concerns. But basically, you keep yourself safe. If you have a fever, don't be around other people. Call your primary care physician. Go see the doctor. Get the medication started to get you well. And don't second guess it. If you think you're sick, if you feel like something is not quite right, go ahead and go to the doctor and rule it out. If nothing else, make yourself feel better. And that way, if you're away from other people, we're going to stop the spread of anything that's going on.
Absolutely. So once again, this is a flu.
This is a flu.
And, I had the flu last year, first time in years, but with the proper care and medication, you can get over this flu.
Right.
And you can take care of yourself, and that's what we need to think.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we're having a second flu season in this winter. We've the weather started breaking and the sun started coming out more, but we're back in flu season. So get out your weapons against flu and help us to fight this battle.
And wash those hands. That's right there too. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back as we're going to be continuing talk about emergencies during the spring and staying safe and healthy. So we'll be back with Jennifer in just a moment.